know why I'm so nervous. Wow. Hi. I don't know what to say. Okay, how do I start this? So I'm going to be explaining why I left school, 5 days before the start of my senior year. I was all moved in, I had all my classes, and I decided to leave. This has nothing to do with the school itself. I love my school, and if you know me, you know how obsessed I am with my school. But I had to make the right decision for me, and I had to think about what was best for me, and leaving was what was best for me. I hope those of you who are confused about why I left, this can help explain it, and those who are going through something similar and are faced with the same decision that I was, I hope this helps. And I wish I had someone who I knew was going through what I'm going through. So, not to get emotional, but I'm a Cancer Pisces, I can't help it. Let's start at the beginning. In 2012, I was diagnosed with postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, or POTS for short. I'm just going to call it POTS for the rest of the video. My diagnosis came off of a seizure that I had in my bathroom. I had been home from school. I missed my band concert. I missed the whole week of school. For me, 7th grade was middle school. So how my middle school was set up, it was 5 stories high, and the 7th graders were on the 5th floor. And the reason I missed school, from what I can remember, I don't have a great memory of all of it, but what I can remember, I just knew that I couldn't get up the stairs. I felt weak, I felt nauseous, I felt dizzy and lightheaded, and I didn't know what was wrong with me because I had gotten like colds before, and this was not a cold. I was scared to be in school by myself in middle school. I kind of feel that way now, which is part of the reason, which I'll get to. I know this video is going to be like so long and you'll be like, get to the point, but I feel like I have to do like backstory first. My parents didn't just let us stay home from school. Like, you had to be throwing up or with like an 100-degree fever to like stay home from school. And I don't know how I convinced them, because I didn't even know what was going on, let alone them not knowing what was going on. I was in my bed, this bed. I was catching up on Make It or Break It. If anybody remembers that ABC Family show about the gymnasts, I was like obsessed with that show. And I was watching Make It or Break It, and I got up to pee. And if like the bathroom's like right around that corner, I got up to pee. I don't remember walking to the bathroom. I just remember sliding down the cabinets by the sink. I had a huge scratch in my back, and I just remember getting the scratch on my back. I don't remember how I fell. I don't remember getting to the bathroom. Thank God one of my parents found me. They thought I was dancing, but I was having a seizure. I don't remember it. I just remember being really scared afterwards, because nothing like that had ever happened to me before. I never passed out. I never anything. And now I was having a seizure for no reason because I got up to pee. I don't remember a lot of the rest of that day, but I'm pretty sure we went to the doctor. I remember drinking a juice box because they thought I had low blood sugar because I wasn't eating a lot because I was nauseous. And then thus began lots and lots of doctor's appointments. So all the tests came back normal. I didn't have a brain tumor. I didn't have a heart defect. Nothing was wrong in my blood. They didn't know what was wrong with me. They just knew I had syncope, which is a fancy word for fainting spells. So my pediatrician told me to go to CHOP, which is the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and I would get diagnosed there. I get to CHOP and I do the equivalent of a tilt table test. Basically, they took my blood pressure and heart rate when I was sitting, and then immediately after I stood, and then 5 minutes after I was standing. And then I would lie down and they'd take my blood pressure and heart rate, and then I would stand back up and they would like, so it was a bunch of like those kind of variations where they took my blood pressure and heart rate, because the baseline for POTS is when you like a drop in blood pressure and an acceleration in heart rate upon standing, and like through duration of standing. So that's what they were testing for. And the doctor at CHOP pretty much knew right away that that's what I had, but he wanted to make sure with this like modified tilt table test. So I did it, and my results came back that I had POTS. They explained it and everything like that, and we got sent home with brochures and everything, and I was like 13 at the time. They told me I would grow out of it at 16. Spoiler alert, that didn't happen. So yeah, I got sent home with like all these brochures, living with a chronic condition, like blah blah blah, like just lots of brochures like that. And I was like, that's weird. Like, they said I would grow out of it at 16. Why do I need all these brochures? Like, another one was like for my family, like having a family member with a chronic condition. And I was like, why? Like, this isn't gonna affect my family. Like, that's crazy. Like, I was finally diagnosed. I had the answers. I had a treatment. This isn't, I'll grow out of it at 16. Like, this doesn't need to be an adjustment for my family. Like, why did they give me all these brochures? So I was just kind of confused and didn't understand the magnitude of my diagnosis. POTS has gotten in the way sometimes, but never to a huge degree. I would have to take 5 minutes if I was cheering on the sideline at a football game. I'd have to just sit down for 5 minutes and then I'd be good to go. During drum corps, I'd, have to do the same thing. Take 5 minutes, sit down, get out of the sun, and I'd be good to go. It seemed to be getting better. I was completely convinced by the time I was 16, I would be grown out of it. I wouldn't have an issue. And I had gotten better. From 2012 to 2015, I had gotten better. And then 2015 came and I started to get worse. And that was the year I had to pull myself out of drum corps in the horn line. And that broke my heart. And that was the first time that POTS really got in the way. There have been several moments from that point on where it got in the way. But I was always able to adjust, I was always able to figure out a way to where I could still do what I wanted to do, just in a different capacity. So, for example, for drum corps, I wasn't in the horn line anymore. I was in the pit, where I didn't have to run around. I just could stand there and play an instrument. And I was okay with doing that because I still got to be involved in what I loved. But I was confused as to why, when I was supposed to grow out of it, it was getting worse. I always went through like waves of good and bad times, but like nothing to that extent. And then I graduated high school like a normal person. I went to college like a normal person. I was in my college marching band. The first couple games where it's really hot, I would have to, you know, be super aware of my body, but I never had to sit out of a game. I would very rarely sit out of practice. I could manage it. This was the same time where I was in the pit for drum corps for my first 2 years of college. So I was, you know, I was managing it. It was something I thought about every day, but I was managing it. It was never bad. And then this summer rolls around, and I decided I really miss drum corps. I want to go back. I want to try to be drum major with my mom. I honestly thought I could do it because I was managing pots. I hadn't had a bad spell in a long time, and I was okay. I didn't have any issues until I did. I started noticing weird sensations in probably June, like late June. I got lightheaded a lot more. I really noticed when I didn't get a good night's sleep, and just little things were off. I just felt off, and I hadn't felt that way in years. So I started to get concerned, but I still was like, I'm okay. Like, I just, you know, I didn't get enough sleep. I kind of ate like garbage this past week. That must be it. I didn't drink enough water, something like that. And then it just kept getting worse. Eventually I had to make the decision to pull myself out again. And then I got worried about school. It was kind of just like a little thought in the back of my mind, because I knew I was going to do marching band again in the fall. And if I couldn't do drum corps over the summer, it made me nervous for band in the fall. So at the beginning of August, my family always takes a vacation. Right before this vacation, I went to the doctor just to say, like, hey, I'm super lethargic. I don't know what's happening. Like, I have brain fog again, all my symptoms that I was experiencing again. So he ordered a blood test, and it came back that I had Lyme disease. But I got Lyme disease when I was like 6 years old. So we didn't know if this was a new spout of Lyme disease that I got bit with another tick, which I don't think I did, because I feel like I would have noticed, and I'm never really outside. So I don't think it was a new Lyme disease. I think it was just all my antibodies from my old Lyme disease were super, super high because I had it before, and that's what the doctor was seeing on the blood tests. So as a precaution, my doctor ordered antibiotics, and I got the antibiotics first day on vacation, took them in the morning. That was not pretty. Let's just say my first morning I spent in the bathroom, and I hate puking, like, so much. I try to avoid it at all costs, but this was unavoidable. I was like, nope, not taking those antibiotics anymore. Absolutely not. Not happening. And then we got another set of antibiotics, and those were okay. I didn't feel great, but like, I took them, whatever. And then, I don't know if this is TMI, but this is part of the story. I think this is just speculation. This is just what I think, just what I felt in my body. I think because of the antibiotics, I got that time of the month for the first time in a year, because I have birth control that makes you not have that. So I got it, hadn't had it in 11 months. So I think the antibiotics made me have that, and then that in conjunction with the antibiotics, just like my whole system shut down. The week after my vacation with my family was one of the worst weeks of my life. I could not get out of bed. I was supposed to work that week. I could not leave my bed. I felt like I was gonna have a seizure constantly, even if I was laying down. The brain fog was unreal. I couldn't concentrate on anything. I watched so much Netflix, and that week I just had to lay in bed. I could not concentrate on anything. I was constantly lightheaded and dizzy, even laying down. I was constantly nauseous. Like, I spent half of that week sleeping in my bathroom because I thought I was gonna puke at any second. It was the worst week, and this is when I really started to reconsider school. Long story short, this is about why I left school. But this was when I started to reconsider school because I was supposed to move in on the Monday of that next week. And I was like, there's no way I am going to make it the 2.5-hour drive it takes to get to school, let alone live by myself. There's no way. And this was like, I don't know, Wednesday of the week before. I was encouraged to just like take it one day at a time, which I did. I started to feel a little bit better. I still wasn't great, but I was sleeping in my bed now. I could eat some toast. I was just doing a little bit better. And so, I mean, I really wanted to go to school. I was so excited. Like, this was gonna be my year, you know? That didn't turn out so well. Anyway, Sunday rolls around. I'm starting to pack. I get, you know, halfway through packing, I start to feel like poo-poo caca again. So Sunday night, I had a really bad night, and then Monday morning comes around, and I'm still, like, really nervous. I just had a feeling that I could not live alone. And I wasn't living alone. I have a roommate, or had a roommate, I don't know. So I wasn't living alone, but I couldn't, like, function as a human being by myself. So Monday I'm supposed to move in, Tuesday I'm supposed to have band auditions, and then the rest of the week was band camp. My mom convinces me to just move in like normal, do your auditions, and then we got a note from my doctor saying that I was supposed to sit out of band camp because there was no way I could do band camp. I'm like, okay, I'll just, you know, move in Monday, do a quick audition on Tuesday, and then just relax until the first day of school, the first day of classes, which was the next Monday after band camp. So I'm like, okay, by that time, like, I should be getting better. And I just wasn't. Monday night after I moved in was awful. I was up until 6 a.m., I think. And then I only slept till 7:30. As soon as I would start to fall asleep, my body would be like, alert, alert, she's about to pass out, would jolt her awake. So that would happen every, like, 2 minutes. And then not sleeping made me feel worse, and I was nauseous the whole night. I didn't get any sleep. I mean, an hour and a half, like I said, from like 6 to 7:30. It was a terrible night, and I didn't know how I was going to do this by myself. So the next day I didn't audition, but I went to a meeting for, like, returnees, and I couldn't spend 30 minutes sitting upright. I had to leave in the middle of the meeting, which made me feel terrible. And my angels of friends helped me drive. Like, I didn't drive, but they drove me back to my apartment. And I called my mom and I just said, I can't do it. I can't sit through an hour of lecture. I can't concentrate even if I was able to just sit upright for an hour. How was I going to walk to class? Because my university is huge and I live off campus. So it's not like I have a dorm that's right across the street from my classes. Like, my classes were all over campus. I lived 10 minutes off campus walking. So, like, even if I felt like I was gonna have, like, a seizure or pass out or whatever in the middle of the class, it would still take me 20 minutes to walk home. And how was I gonna walk home? Like, how was I gonna walk anywhere? I just was so scared that I didn't know what was happening with my body. I was so scared that I was losing control of my body, and I didn't want to be alone while it was happening. I always felt safe or safer when my mom was around, and that's kind of just the truth because she's been with me through all of it, and she knows my symptoms, and she knows when I'm having a bad day. And I didn't want to be 2.5 hours away from her and have something happen. And she was like, this has to be your decision. I can't make this decision for you. Long story short, I didn't feel healthy enough to be at school. I'm scared, and I just felt like in order for me to get better and to get to a place where I can live on my own and go to classes and concentrate and learn, I needed to be at home for right now, surrounded by my family. I mean, I'm not doing nothing. I'm taking 2 online classes, which were 2 of the classes I was going to take anyway. So it's not like I'm completely putting my education on hold, which I don't want to do. Like, that's the thing. I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to leave my friends. I didn't want to not do marching band. I didn't want to not be independent. I just had to be honest with myself and say, you're not healthy enough to do this right now, and that's okay. And you will get better, and it's okay to take some time to recover. I miss my friends, and I miss the marching band, and I miss my school so much. But I have not regretted this decision for a second. I know this is where I need to be, and I know this is what I need to do to get myself healthy. Sorry, I was a mess. I'm a Cancer Pisces, I can't help it. I would just like to tell anybody who has POTS or anything else that inhibits you from doing what you want that it's okay to take a little break for yourself. I still struggle with the fact that I'm not at school, but I'm doing what's best for me. And I believe that, and I'm confident in that. And you have to do what's best for you too. Okay, but anyway, long story short, I have to figure out POTS right now, and I can't be at school. That's just how it goes. I don't even know if this makes any sense. I'll probably have to redo it, but sorry I was such a mess. I can't control my emotions. Thanks for watching and caring and supporting me. I don't know if you support me, but thanks if you do. If anybody has any questions about POTS, I didn't even explain what POTS is. Oh my god. I'll make a different video explaining what POTS is. This is a mess. I will keep you updated on my treatments and doctor's appointments and how I'm feeling and everything like that. So, thank you. Bye.